Where does the soul go after cremation? Unexpected discoveries. When a body turns to ash, what happens to the most sacred part, the soul? We're launching an investigation to separate myths from surprising discoveries. Cremation is an ancient ritual, now a modern and practical way to say goodbye. Millions choose it, believing the body turns to dust. But what about the soul? This simple question hides one of life's deepest mysteries. We often think of death as the end, with the body decaying and the soul, if it exists, going to another dimension. But what happens when the physical form vanishes in flames? Common views range from religious beliefs to the idea of total annihilation. As a skeptic, I can't accept these answers without questioning them. Our mission isn't to repeat theories, but to dig deeper, challenge assumptions, and search for overlooked, unexpected discoveries. Even in the obvious, incredible secrets can hide. We'll find out if cremation is just the end for the body, or if it starts a new, unknown process for the soul. What if age-old religious doctrines about the soul after cremation are not the final answer, but just the starting point for our skeptical inquiry? Searching for answers about the soul post-cremation, we turn to religions, the age-old keepers of knowledge about the afterlife. They offer their versions of the soul's journey, but how do these beliefs stand up to scrutiny, especially when the body is burned? Christianity once forbade cremation, linking it to resurrection. Now, many denominations allow it, saying God doesn't need the body to be whole. But why was it banned for so long? Was it culture, not dogma? Islam strictly forbids cremation, requiring burial for the soul's proper path. Hinduism and Buddhism embrace burning, seeing fire as a release from earthly ties. These opposing views raise questions. If the soul is eternal, why does the way we treat the body matter so much and so differently across religions? Does the physical ritual affect the soul's fate? Or are these dogmas just human interpretations, not direct knowledge of the afterlife? These contradictions push us to keep searching. No one will tell you how science tries to capture the soul during cremation, but we'll show you the paradoxes uncovered along the way. Leaving religious labyrinths, our skeptical eyes turn to science. Can instruments shed light on the soul's fate after cremation? Can science even detect something as elusive as the soul? There have been attempts. In the early 20th century, Dr. Duncan McDougall tried to weigh the soul, measuring weight loss at the moment of death. His findings were widely criticized for flaws and lack of proof. Such studies are intriguing, but lack scientific rigor. Science uses facts, measurements, and repeatable experiments. The soul is considered immaterial. How do you measure something without mass, energy, or waves? Thermodynamics says energy doesn't vanish, just transforms. Is the soul a form of energy? If so, cremation speeds up its release, turning the body into heat and light. This is just a hypothesis. As skeptics, we know absence of proof isn't proof of absence. But without measurable data, without repeatable experiments, talk of the soul remains a matter of faith. Science can't definitively say where the soul goes after cremation, leaving us with the great unknown. She swore she saw him. Days after her husband's cremation, she felt his touch and heard his whisper in the empty house. Was it grief or something more? We investigate stories of those claiming to receive signs from the other side. When science and religion are silent, personal accounts take over. Stories of signs after cremation are a last hope, but are they real or self-deception? Near-death experiences NDEs show people on the brink describing leaving their bodies and seeing the light. The similarities are striking. Skeptics point to physiology, oxygen deprivation, endorphin release, hallucinations. The brain, coping with trauma, creates vivid trips unrelated to the afterlife. Esoteric practices and spiritualism promise contact with souls. Mediums, unexplained events, all create an illusion of continuation. But history is full of fraud. The desire to believe is strong, and critical thinking fades before hope. Does cremation affect contact? Esotericists speak of liberation, but that's speculation. As investigators, we critically assess each story, seeking rational explanations, resisting emotional appeals. Nearly 50% of modern farewells end in cremation. But after thousands of years and countless scientific attempts, we're no closer to a single answer about the soul. What unexpected discoveries await when we assemble all the pieces of this investigation? Our investigation ends, but answers, as with eternal questions, are not definitive. We started with the mystery of ashes, trying to understand what happens to the soul after cremation, and moved through religious dogmas, scientific attempts, and personal testimonies. What did we find? Religions offer comforting but conflicting versions based on culture and history, not universal knowledge. Science, for all its tools, can't measure the immaterial, leaving the soul beyond its scope. And stories from beyond, while emotional, often have rational explanations like grief or brain physiology. Perhaps the most unexpected discovery is that there is no secret formula or irrefutable proof. The soul after cremation remains unknown. Maybe that's the truth. Humans aren't meant to find an answer, but to continue searching, forming a personal understanding in the face of the inevitable. The eternal question remains open, and that may be its greatest value. We've finished our investigation, but countless mysteries remain. If, like us, you aren't afraid to ask tough questions and look for answers where others see emptiness, subscribe to Mysteries of the Spirit. Like this video if our journey into the unknown made you think. Together, we'll keep unraveling the mysteries around us and beyond.